This My Access Administration training presentation is brought to you by the Michigan Department of Education, Office of Educational Assessment and Accountability, OEAA, and the Test Administration and Reporting Division. This presentation will provide timely information regarding end-to-end testing activities for the My Access Supported Independence and Participation (SI/P) assessments. The topics for this presentation include what's new with My Access assessment information, accommodations and support, before testing, preparing for administration, during testing, administration, SI/P, after testing, post-administration activities, and contact information. Here's what is new for 2025 My Access assessments. There is a new vendor for paper/pencil testing materials. The Data Recognition Corporation, DRC, will now be our vendor for the paper/pencil assessments. DRC will be providing test materials, processing all returns from schools, conducting all scanning, scoring, and reporting activities. There have been several updates to materials returned this year. The changes are: 1. No return packets. All return materials will be in clear bag with sticker indicating return materials enclosed. These will be included in the administrative box of materials. 2. UPS return shipment labels. The new vendor for returns is the United Postal Service, UPS. There must be a UPSRS label affixed to each return box. 3. Do not score labels. Each paper/pencil shipment will include do not score labels affixed to any answer document that should not be scored. 4. No special handling envelopes. The special handling envelopes have been discontinued. Simply pack materials in return boxes and affix the UPSRS labels. 5. Clear bags provided. All FI answer documents, if used, must be placed in the clear plastic bags and zip-tied before placement in the return box. Be sure to follow the instructions provided in the Test Administration Manual for the complete details for preparing materials for return. This next section covers My Access assessment information and provides an overview of the My Access Alternate Assessment Program. My Access is designed for students with the most significant cognitive disabilities who have a disability or multiple disabilities that significantly impair cognitive and adaptive functioning, have extensive support needs, and have a majority of instruction and goals are based on Michigan's alternate content expectations. My Access is designed only for students with IEP goals that are aligned to the alternate achievement expectations in lieu of the general grade level standards. Students that meet the inclusion criteria and receive alternate instruction as part of a daily routine. My Access has 3 levels of participation to match this instruction: high, medium, and low. My Access is not intended for students with mild impairments or solely with high incidence of types of disabilities, for example, learning disability speech impairment. My Access is not intended for students solely with a behavioral or sensory perceptual type of impairment, for example, emotional impairment or hearing impairment. My Access is not a default assessment for all students with moderate to high or specialized support needs, for example, not only and not all students with autism. My Access is not a default assessment to allow for better student outcomes. My Access is designed for students with the most significant cognitive disabilities, and whose IEP team has determined that the general assessment is not appropriate for them, even with accommodations. The assessments are designed for students with the most significant cognitive disabilities, about 1% of students. Such students have significant impairment to cognitive functioning. Significant impairment to adaptive functioning need extensive supports to generalize learning or show growth, and receive most of their instruction based on alternate grade level standards. There are 3 levels of assessments within the program for students working toward alternate content expectations. They are functional independence, supported independence, and participation. Participation in My Access SI/P assessments is an IEP decision and what level is the most appropriate for the student. Functional independence, FI, is for students whose instructional approach aligns with the high range of complexity of the alternate content expectations and who require some basic supports to function independently but cannot work toward general content standards. Supported independence, SI, is for students whose instructional approach aligns with the medium range of complexity and who need ongoing supports for many major life roles. Participation, P, for students whose instructional approach aligns with the low range of complexity of the alternate content expectations and who will require extensive, ongoing support for much of their life. For this presentation, we will focus on the supported independence and participation tests. Guidelines to help IEP teams come to a final decision whether a student should participate in MyAccess are found on the webpage at michigan.gov/myaccess in the General Information section. The guidelines for participation in MyAccess can be found on the MyAccess webpage. Use this link or QR code to take you to the MyAccess webpage. This document can help identify the appropriate assessment for a student. Additional resources to assist IEP teams determine participation are found on the webpage at michigan.gov/myaccess in the Assessment Training and Resources for Educators section. These include Assessment Selection Guidelines Training and the Interactive Decision-Making Tool, which allows an IEP team to walk through the decision-making process together in real time. The MyAccess webpage also provides a couple training opportunities under the Assessment Training and Resources for Educators section. The first one is the Assessment Selection Guidelines Training, which is a more robust resource to train staff in recognizing what level of the assessment is most appropriate for the student. The second tool is the Assessment Selection Guidance, which is an interactive decision-making tool that will walk you through a sequence of yes and no questions and answers to arrive at the most appropriate assessment for the student. Both are excellent resources for IEP teams to make the most appropriate decision for the student. Students will take the MyAccess SI/P in the following grades and content areas. ELA and Math is administered in grades 3 to 8 and grade 11. Science is administered in grades 5, 8, and 11. Michigan does not offer a state-level social studies assessment at the SI or P levels, so it is important that students be assessed using a locally developed or approved assessment. Review the Test Administration Manual for further details. Some have asked over the years if students can be assessed in more than one type of the MyAccess assessments, and the answer is yes. MyAccess flexibility will allow. Test types must be adjacent, for example, FI and SI or SI/P. SI/P assessments may be combined, for example, SI ELA and P Science. The FI and S assessments can be combined, for example, FI Math and SI ELA. Note, FI Social Studies may also be used with SI tests, but not with participation level. Non-adjacent types are not permitted, for example, FI and P. M-STEP may not be split with SI or P. SAT or PSAT may not be combined with SI or P. All decisions of assessment use must be documented in the IEP. Can students take any type of MyAccess assessment? No, there are some limits. MyAccess flexibility is limited to only adjacent levels of testing. This chart shows the limits between valid and invalid testing scenarios. The left green column outlines the valid testing scenarios, based on adjacent levels of testing. The right orange column outlines the invalid testing scenarios, based on non-adjacent levels of testing. Note, ELA and mathematics must be administered as a unit and cannot be split. The district coordinator provides overall assessment support and responsibility to ensure all students are pre-identified and moved from M-STEP to MyAccess in the secure site as early as possible. Ensure any students removed from M-STEP are also removed from those test sessions in the Insight portal, and any printed M-STEP tickets are destroyed. Order test materials as needed. Ensure the OEAA security compliance forms are completed by all staff. Ensure procedures for material handling security are developed and followed, including a chain of custody for all materials. Complete the MDE assessment security modules through Michigan Virtual at the link shown. Read the Assessment Integrity Guide, AIG, found on the webpage. Ensure all staff have access and receive test administration training. The district coordinator assists schools in receiving and returning all test materials as required. They also manage the answer document and test verification process. This is the last chance to make sure all answer documents have been processed, and document why students may not have been tested. They ensure any testing irregularities are reported by submitting an incident report in the secure site. They review and distribute final reports, which will be released in late summer through the secure site. Assessment Coordinator training is located on the webpage or QR code below. The building coordinator must complete the MDE Assessment Security online course through Michigan Virtual at the link shown here and also on the web page. Read the Assessment Integrity Guide, AIG, also found on the web page. The role of the building or the school coordinator for My Access includes the following: manage all aspects of the assessment, in collaboration with the district coordinator. Coordinate staff training for administration and test security at their school. Assist with receiving and returning of test materials as required. Ensure proper implementation of material security procedures at the school level and properly disseminate and collect test materials from test administrators. Scores or responses in the online answer document when testing is over. The supported independence and participation test administrators fulfill a very different role than most tests. The assessments are observational and are conducted by two administrators in a one-on-one environment. Administrators need to know the student well. The primary assessment administrator, PAA, should be a certified professional staff member such as a teacher, school psychologist, related service provider, or teacher consultant, and the PAA conducts the testing observations. A shadow assessment administrator, the second set of eyes, should be a staff member or other school personnel such as a highly qualified paraprofessional, whose role is to observe and score the student responses. The primary and the shadow record student responses for each question on the test. The primary and shadow administrators tally student responses to the test items simultaneously and independently on the scoring documents, which are provided with the testing materials. The primary administrator will enter all the student scores or responses in the online answer document when testing is over. The next section is designed to provide enough resources to answer most of your questions and provide opportunities for training of other staff members. The Michigan Department of Education has developed a guide to all state assessments, and it can be located on the My Access webpage, using the QR code and link provided. The Supported Independence and Participation Test Administration Manual, TAM, provides general information about the assessment. An overview of what to expect. Supports and accommodations. Roles and responsibilities. Activities before, during and after testing. Materials return section. And finally, an appendix section with a variety of helpful materials. The My Access webpage provides several links to the following: the alternate content expectations, which are found in the web page header. Guidelines for participation, also found in the web page header. The OEAA Secure Site Login page. The Assessment Coordinator Training Guide. Our Spotlight Weekly Newsletter. The My School Data link. OEAA contact information. The My Access webpage also provides links to the current assessment administration section, which include Test Administration Manual, TAM. Assessment Flowcharts. Guide to State Assessments. DRC Insight Portal link. Assessment Integrity Guide. Electronic Device Policy. The My Access webpage also provides a link to the Assessment Calendars webpage, where you will find the lists of important dates in a PDF format. Lists of assessment program dates in an Excel format. A Google Calendar option is also available for those who want to be informed through their calendar what activities are approaching with regards to state assessments. This includes Google Help information and resources for task follow-up. The Spring Summative Assessment Calendar is available on the Calendar webpage. My Access has a 7-week administration window which begins April 7th and ends May 23rd. A copy of this document can be found on the My Access webpage. Important dates are provided in several formats including PDF, Excel, and Google Calendars. More information about My Access Assessment Administration will be reviewed later in the presentation. The My Access webpage also includes a training section and resources for educators. They include Administration Video Training for Supported Independence and Participation. The OEAA Secure Site Training Documentation. The Assessment Security Training. My Access webpage also provides a link to the Assessment Security Training webpage in the Assessment Training and Resources for Educators section. The Assessment Integrity and Security webpage provides Assessment Security Practices Resources. Test Security and Administration Monitoring. B. Assessment security and planning documents. Assessment security training for coordinators, administrators, and staff. The allegation reporting resources for misadministration, irregularities, and unethical behavior. Another resource for assessment coordinators is the Assessment Coordinator Training Guide found at this link and on the MyAccess webpage. This guide is a chapter-driven document that provides a brief, but important, outline of all aspects of training and assessment. The Assessment Coordinator Training Guide provides a before-testing overview which includes Assessment Coordinator Training, Quick Reference, and Quick Start Guide. The assessment systems includes Introduction to Testing Technology, DRC Insight Portal Basics, Secure Site Training, Educational Entity Master (EM) Resource, Michigan Student Data System (MSDS). The Student Supports and Accommodations you will find. Student Supports and Accommodation Overview. Selecting and assigning universal tools. Designated support. Accommodations. The Test Security chapter includes an overview of test security, appropriate test security practices, incident reporting. The Assessment Coordinator Training Guide is set up to also help you with activities before testing. When you are getting ready for testing, there are a variety of documents in the guide that will help you with training and resources. These include pre-identification of students, report codes and research codes, preparing yourself and staff as a building coordinator and as a district coordinator, preparing students and parents for testing, initial and additional material orders, MyAccess who takes an alternate assessment, and MyAccess assessment preparation. The Coordinator Guide also provides information for what to do during testing for MyAccess assessment administrations. There is also a third section on the after-testing activities which include post-administration tasks and reports such as materials return, accountable students enrolled in demographics, and introduction to testing technology. A chapter is also provided focused on assessment data and reporting including preliminary reports, data files, final reporting. The primary goal of assessment security is to protect the integrity of the assessment and to ensure that the results are accurate and meaningful. The OEAA has a security goal for the state of Michigan to provide secure assessments that result in valid and reliable scores, to adhere to high professional test administration and security standards, to maintain consistency across all testing occasions and sites for schools and students, to promote the investments of resources, time, and energy. The Assessment Integrity Guide provides a number of items including information on the prevention and detection of testing irregularities, guidance for follow-up and resolution of any identified testing irregularity. Ensure all procedures before, during, and after the testing administration lead to student results that more accurately reflect a valid and reliable measure of students' unique and true educational knowledge, skills, and abilities. The guide has been updated for the spring administration and should be reviewed for the updated testing policies. It is also located on the MyAccess webpage. The security compliance forms are to be read and signed by all staff involved in state assessments. Staff agreements for confirming training and proper observance of security processes. These must be kept on hand at the district for a minimum of 3 years. Is available on all state assessment webpages including MyAccess. The OEAA has developed an electronic device policy for testing, which is available in the Assessment Integrity Guide and the Test Administration Manual. This guide is designed to help district and building coordinators develop an internal policy regarding personal electronic devices during testing. The guide includes examples of electronic devices, policy for students, policy for test administrators/monitors and staff. It includes best practices or acceptable and prohibited practices for students and staff. All staff members who participate in the administration of a state assessment must be fully trained in assessment security each year. District and building assessment coordinators must complete the MDE Assessment Security online course through Michigan Virtual. After completion of the training course, a refresher course is available for subsequent years' training. Read the Assessment Integrity Guide. Test administrators, room supervisors, and proctors must read the Assessment Security for Test Administrators document, TAM Appendix H, page 90, and/or complete the MDE Assessment Security online course through Michigan Virtual. Off-site testing is for schools who cannot test on-site at their school buildings. Off-site testing also occurs for individual students. When a school is providing educational services to a homebound student, students are hospitalized during the testing window, or students are expelled with services. The test administrators must be familiar to the student to avoid any distractions and recognize the special needs of the student. The Off-Site Test Administration request is found under the Assessment Registration tab in the OEAA Secure site. Select Off-Site Test Administration Request. The window to submit off-site test administration requests is open now through May 22, 2025. Incidents or testing irregularities frequently occur during testing and must be submitted on the incident report page of the OEAA Secure site. There are several common types of incidents. Scores submitted incorrectly. SI/P scores entered on the wrong online answer document. Technical problems with score entry. Accommodation and/or designated support issue. Prohibited behavior. An incident report instruction sheet linked here. It provides details for completing the report. The OEAA staff will respond to remedy the situation once the report is filed. The OEAA Secure site is a web-based application used for managing state assessments and contains FERPA student information. The site is only available to authorized district and school staff members that require it as part of their role in state assessments. The primary functions of the Secure site are pre-identification of students for all assessments, ordering paper and pencil tests including accommodated versions, incident reporting, accountable students enrolled in demographics review, answer documents received and not tested review and submission, access to student data files and score reports. You'll need access to the OEAA Secure site throughout testing. Log into My Login for Business to access OEAA Secure site. You will need to add the OEAA Secure site service to your homepage. Use the Discover Online Services link at the top right corner to add the OEAA Secure site. If you do not already have access, you will be prompted to complete the Request Access page. For complete directions, go to michigan.gov/secure site training and click How do I get access to Secure site? You will use the OEAA Secure site frequently throughout testing. Before testing, the Secure site is access to pre-identify students for state assessments, order paper/pencil assessment materials per total administrator count, group students into online sessions for printing test tickets for score entry after testing. Note, labels are not required for SI or P tests, but are required for FI answer documents only. During testing, off-site test administration requests are completed in the Secure site, and incident reporting is also completed in the Secure site. After testing, the Secure site is used to access the Accountable Students and Test Verification window in June. This provides access to student test scores, download data files, and access the reports that are available in the Dynamic Score Reporting site. Initial material orders, IMOs, are processed through the OEAA Secure site and are based on your pre-identification counts. IMOs are sent to coordinators by default to the district unless designated to individual buildings in the district. Users who selected an alternate date for material deliveries receive them either between March 24 through 26 or March 31 through April 2, 2025, based on your selection. Additional material orders are also processed through the Secure site but are based on material selected by the user after the initial window has closed. The dates for ordering materials are listed on the My Access Important Dates document found on the My Access webpage. While these dates may have passed for this year, they typically fall within the range of similar dates year to year. Please review the list of important dates on the webpage to confirm. The Initial Material Orders (IMO) screen permits users to search by test cycle and then select shipping destination and delivery dates. The first date listed is the default date and an alternate delivery date as well. The address listed is based on the address for the My Access coordinator in EEM. Make sure you verify that this is correct so that your materials are sent to the correct place. IMOs are automatically generated based on your pre-identification count, and you can view your order from this screen. Please check the list of important dates for the IMO window, and delivery dates have already passed. You can still place material orders if you have any need for additional materials. The window for additional materials orders is listed here, April 3rd through May 20th. These dates are also listed in the important dates documents. When your materials arrive, be sure to inventory materials upon receipt. Use the packing slip included with each order to verify that all materials listed are included in your order. Any materials that are on your packing list that you did not receive, please send us an email at mdoeaa@michigan.gov. Secure materials must be returned to the scoring contractor. If any secure materials are not returned by the materials return deadline, MDE will contact the school to locate the missing materials. If the missing materials were not identified by the receiving school as missing during the inventory process when received, MDE will expect the school to locate missing materials. All secure materials must be retained in a secure, locked location within the school. This cannot be just in a locked office, like the main office cabinet or assessment coordinator's desk, because it's possible that the office can be left unattended, and the materials are not secured. Distributing and collecting materials daily apply throughout the testing process, including during the planning stage. Next, all secure materials must be distributed and collected each day. The secure testing materials include administrator booklets, student picture cards, scoring documents, test tickets, and rosters. Make sure you review the TAM if you have any questions about what materials must be secured. The DRC Insight portal is available for administration tasks, including students pre-identified in the OEAA secure site have been copied into the DRC Insight portal test sessions. Students can continue to be pre-identified in the OEAA secure site and will be copied into the DRC Insight portal 3 times a day. Students in sessions are managed directly in the DRC Insight portal for the purpose of printing tickets or for the purpose of entering scores in the online answer document after administration of the test. This table shows who needs access and the associated secure site role for them to have the correct access. Technology coordinators must have access, and the secure site roles they should be assigned are listed here: district or school level access, and for school level access either public or non-public schools. District and building coordinators also must have access to work in the DRC Insight portal. They are sorted the same way as technology coordinators, district or school level access, and the school access is separated into public and non-public schools. SI/P score entry is internet-based URL access to the online answer document, not the DRC portal. Very briefly, I want to touch on the accommodations and supports for students. All decisions about any supports a student needs must be made by the IEP team. Be documented in the student's IEP by content area. Reflect what the student routinely uses during instruction. Assessment administrators are responsible for making sure the appropriate supports are available during the assessment, and for tailoring them as needed to the assessment situation. Because the items on the SI/P assessments use selected, response items, and activity-based observation formats, and are embedded in classroom activities/routines, designated supports and accommodations specific to the assessment may not be needed. Nonetheless, assessment administrators do have the option of using accommodations if they are detailed in the student's IEP, and part of the student's everyday instructional routines. Be sure to review the instructions in the manual and the administrator assessment booklets when preparing the adaptations and supports for students. Getting ready for an SI or P My Access administration can involve a great deal of training and planning ahead of time. In this section, we will cover the activities leading up to testing. As you prepare for testing, you will find the Assessment Coordinator Training Guide is set up to help you with activities before testing. This is a good reference and training tool to get started. There are 2 chapters covering who takes My Access and how to prepare for testing. The Test Administration Manual, TAM, provides details on how to prepare for the assessments for the primary and shadow administrators. Review materials securely and use the test materials required in preparation for testing observations. Prepare for any needed adaptations to test items, along with classroom items to be used during testing. Enter students' scores to the online answer document after testing. Complete tasks beginning to end as required to complete the testing. The SI/P Test Administration Manual is available on the My Access webpage. Students are automatically registered/pre-identified in M-STEP and must be moved to My Access in the OEAA secure site by content area, paper/pencil, and type SI or P according to IEP. Ensure students are removed from any active M-STEP sessions and those session test tickets destroyed. Material orders are automatically populated based on the pre-identification, however, coordinators should review the orders for accuracy. Materials may be ordered in the OEAA secure site based on the number of administrators involved with administration, primary and shadow administrators. SI/P uploads from the secure site will place students in sessions to print test tickets for score entry. Coordinators must confirm sessions in DRC Insight portal and print test tickets for score entry to the online answer document after testing. Administrators must meet to develop a plan for student assessments. Selected response and activity-based observation test items are designed to be instructionally embedded as much as possible. This will require reviewing the test to meet the student's needs. Adaptations/substitute classroom items must be planned if administrators use them during testing. Administrators must review the administrator test booklet and become familiar with all the items and adaptations as well as directions. Primary and shadow administrator must review the rubric found on each scoring document. The SI/P TAM will be the best source for all assessment details. This is the scoring rubric for supported independence and participation. It is important to become familiar with this rubric before testing begins. This will help facilitate more accurate observations of the students if you are familiar with it ahead of time. The participation rubric on the left column is a 3-point rubric, while the supported independence in the second column is a 2-point rubric. The third column describes what the administrators will be looking for in the students' responses. They will score the student according to these responses as they are observing the test. These rubrics will also appear on each of the scoring documents above the response fields. There is a video-based training module for how to administer the supported independence and participation along with the rubric. This training is hosted by Michigan Virtual and can be found on the My Access webpage under the section titled Assessment Training and Resources for Educators. The videos will guide users through preparation for the testing, administering the tests, and how to enter scores after testing is completed. Now we move into the area of test administration and the activities surrounding the day of testing. The Assessment Coordinator Training Guide is set up to guide you through the tasks and activities during the administration of the testing. The guide also provides information to review preliminary reports during testing. This is a good reference and training tool for staff. The administration flowchart for supported independence and participation provides a side-by-side visual of the paper/pencil administration and the online answer document score entry features. The chart includes activities before, during and after testing. The chart includes important dates for assessment activities. It is available on the My Access webpage. Several things to notice about the supported independence and participation administration. The booklets for the test are for the assessment administrator's use only, not for the students. The picture cards are for the student use. The primary administrator leads the administration while the shadow observes. Selected response items are presented with the picture cards. It is optional to use classroom objects or comparable picture cards provided these pictures or objects are what the student is used to seeing during instruction. Activity-based observations are displayed along with an example of how to set up the activity and how to score the student response. Here is a sample item for a participation assessment. In this case, this is a selected response item. The student will be given the question and two options to choose from. In this sample question, the items are presented to the student with two picture cards. The supported independence materials will include 3 picture cards to present the 3 options. There are several reminders for the supported independence and participation assessments. The content areas are all in a single booklet for administrators by grade. This permits an administrator to use the same booklet for other students in the same grade. The selected response items each will include a read-aloud instructions to help prepare for the test. Each item includes an adaptation section for visually impaired students and some helpful hints on how to present items. Selected response items are designed to be presented twice in differing orders. Please see the manual for how to present selected response items. Activity-based observation items include a general or specialized instruction for students who are blind or visually impaired. Activity-based observations are not designed to be presented twice like the selected response. Here is an example of a selected response item for supported independence. The question includes a table comprised of specialized instructions for administrators and sample adaptations that administrators may use for students who have a visual impairment or are blind. This participation sample shows specialized instructions for administrators. Sample adaptations that administrators may use for students who are blind or have visual impairments. At the beginning of the activity-based observation section, you will also find general and specialized instructions for students who are blind or visually impaired. Student directions are also provided for the activity-based observations. For each question, there is an activity that is required. In the question itself will also be an example of how to set up the activity. There's also a scoring focus for each question, and this is designed to help identify what you are looking for in your attempts to assess the student. During the observations, the primary and the shadow administrators will use a scoring document to record the student's answers during administration. These scoring documents arrive with the testing materials and may be copied and downloaded from the MyAccess webpage if more copies are needed. Complete the form number from the administrator booklet on the scoring document. This also provides the web location link to enter the scores when the observations are completed. The rubric appears in the header in the scoring document sheet. There are no paper answer documents, since the responses on the scoring document will be entered online. The primary and the shadow administrator simultaneously and independently score the student responses. Be sure to sign each scoring document and the role as primary or shadow administrator. Here are some reminders and additional administration tips to remember. Students must be enrolled as special education in MSDS. Read the SI/P test administration manual on the MyAccess webpage. Fill in the form number from the administrator booklet on the scoring documents. This is required for entering the scores online. When all the testing administrations are complete, there are some critical steps to returning and wrapping up all of the post-administration activities. We will cover those now for the online and for the paper pencil. The SI/P online answer document can be accessed in two ways. 1. Use the link on the scoring documents that can be accessed on the MyAccess webpage, michigan.gov/myaccess, or 2. Use the link on the login page of the DRC Insight portal welcome screen. Note, the online answer document will only be available during the MyAccess testing window. For training purposes, you may watch a mini module entitled Entering Student Responses in the MyAccess online answer document portal. After the supported independence and participation assessment is given, the primary administrator logs into the online answer document using the student test ticket and the link on the scoring document. The primary administrator will confirm the student information is accurate. They will also confirm the test type and the content area information for accuracy. Scoring documents help the primary administrator transfer all the student scores to the online answer document by confirming the form number from the booklet, accessing the link in the header to get to the answer document, entering all scores to the online answer document. Both the primary and the shadow administrators must sign their scoring documents. The primary administrator must confirm the form number at the top of the answer document from the administrator booklet and scoring documents. The scores for the primary are entered at the top in the blue shaded area for participation. The gray area at the lower part of the answer document is where the shadow administrator scores are entered. Each one of these fields have a scroll feature to complete all entry. These are the fields that the primary administrator transfers all student responses from the scoring documents with the online answer document. Note, this is a sample of the participation online answer document. This is an example of the supported independence online answer document. The format is identical to the participation and should be completed by the primary administrator as well. There are a couple items that might help when entering the scores. The score entry to the online answer document is made easier with a touchscreen device. This allows for easier navigation and entry. Users may also scroll each of the fields by using the scroll bars on the right or by dragging the screen up or down to scroll through the field. It is very important for the coordinators to inventory all materials before shipping back to the contractor. Use the original materials packing list to verify that all materials listed are included in your returns. All secure materials must be returned to the scoring contractor. If any secure materials are not returned by the materials deadline, MDE will contact the school to locate any missing items. This is important because failure to return all secure materials may result in the district or school being placed on a future monitoring list. The S25 Test Administration Manual provides a material return section that includes material handling table showing the items to be returned, retained, and destroyed by schools. It also includes the time frames for retaining or returning items. The link below will take you to the web page where the manuals are posted. Note, there are several changes to material returns in spring 2025, including no specific packing/sorting order required for returning materials, the special handling envelope has been discontinued for returning materials, and the last day to ship materials is May 28, 2025. Use testing material that arrives past the scoring deadline may not be scored. Be sure to review the materials return section of the Test Administration Manual. Instructions for returning materials to DRC. Materials returned to DRC do not need to be separated into different boxes for all My Access materials, FI, SI, or P. Use the same boxes in which materials arrived. Use the initial material shipping list to take an inventory and ensuring that all secure materials are accounted for. SI/P scoring documents must be retained by the school. Use the provided clear plastic bags to store secure FI answer documents, if administered, within the boxes being returned. Zip ties are also provided to close each bag. Remove or black out any old shipping labels on boxes, including the original shipping label, and seal the boxes with plastic shipping tape. Note, destroy any shipping labels from previous administrations. Affix a yellow DRC return shipping label to the top of each box being returned to DRC. Affix the provided UPSRS labels to each box of materials being returned to DRC. Do not return the security compliance forms. Every box in a return shipment needs an UPSRS label applied. If additional UPSRS labels are needed, order them on the Additional Materials Order page in the OEAA Secure site. In this closing slide, we provide our contact information. Thank you for taking the time to review this training presentation. You may reach the Office of Educational Assessment and Accountability at mdoeaa@michigan.gov. Questions may also be sent directly to our office at the Help Desk 877-560-8378. For weekly updates from the OEAA, please subscribe to the Spotlight on Student Assessment and Accountability. This provides timely articles, announcements, important dates, and deadlines that are approaching. A link to the Spotlight is also found on the My Access webpage header.